Hey, welcome back to the Milton Price Report. My name is Chuck, and so what we're trying to do with these videos is to give you a little bit of an inside perspective. Read through the report as if we're sitting right beside you. So our team is actually 4 people, including 3 licensed agents, a full-time admin. We've got another agent who'll be joining us shortly, probably in the next 30 days. We've helped over 1,000 people go through this process. And really our vision is to keep you safe, to make sure there's no surprises, that you're fully aware of everything that's going on. And then one of the other specialties that we have is really the marketing and getting the word out about a house. And oftentimes we even make matches before we list a home because we have so much interest from things like our Milton Daily Homes videos, of which we've had over 1 million views. So there's a lot of fun things that we do in terms of mixing buyers and sellers together. The essence of this report is that it's general in nature, and the thing about that is that it's never as precise as me coming to you and saying, look, here's the last 5 times your model sold, here's stuff that's sold on your street. It's never the same thing. So if you want something more specific, we'll talk about that at the end of the video. But it's just important to look at it and say, okay, what really affects value? And one of the main things that we coach people through is that it's fine to have a goal, to have a number, and I find even a lot of agents will sit there and say, okay, that's the number you should list. I've moved away from that because what I understand is that buyers are really the determinants of value. They're the ones writing you the check, and they're comparison shoppers. So you need to look at things more from the buyer's perspective to get clarity about how to sell your house. And so we coach our clients through that, and I'd be glad to give you some perspective on that whenever you're ready. So here's a chart that saved people a lot of time and a lot of energy over the years, and it talks about the cycles of the year in real estate, average prices on this side, and then we've got the months of the year. And so you can see that just as the last 8 or 9 years has indicated, February is a better month than January for average price. March can be up or down. We're going to get the March stats sometime in early April. Now, the thing that you'll hear in the media is that, well, the market's down 15%. What that means is that there's been 15% less sales this February and March than last February and March. Of course, because of the weather. It's so obvious to me, but people hear that 15% and they think something's drastically wrong. Talk to the people in Toronto. In the good neighborhoods, $50,000 to $100,000 over asking is happening all the time, just as much as it did last spring. And in Milton, we're seeing the same thing. So if you look at the freehold townhouses, now look at what happened in the fall of last year. 85 new listings, 36 of them sold for townhouses. 69 new listings, 45 of them sold. There was a buildup of inventory through the fall for townhouses, for anything in that sort of 350 to maybe 450 range. And then what happened was it started to get swallowed up in November, December. But November was a bit of a slow month overall in the market. It was really fascinating. Usually December is the slow one. November was slow, and then December kicked up a bit. And what we've seen so far in January, February is that it has definitely picked up. It's progressed quite a bit. The days on the market has actually come down a little bit, and we've seen more activity. And there's not a whole lot good under 425 that lasts longer than a week or two. Now, semi-detached, same thing, reflective of price range. About 70% of the listings sold in February compared to 47 in January. So good stuff. Days on the market is down just a little bit. Detached is very interesting because there's little holes in the market. And what's happened is that a lot of the detached, especially the single car garages, have been trying to list over 5. It's really confused buyers. We talk to a lot of buyers that say, are they really worth this? And our answer is usually, in most cases, no, although there are some good single garages that do go over 5. Now, between 5 and 550, lack of good listings for double car garages. We've actually seen a pretty good demand for $600,000 to $700,000 for good homes. I mean, there's a lot of big boxes that don't have a lot of upgrades. They don't have a lot of amazing stuff about them, but the good ones that have some stuff that really people are excited to move up to, we've seen there's demand. We've seen quite a few homes in the 6 to 7 range in the month of March that have actually sold at full price or even higher. So there is demand there for sure. You just have to have a point of differentiation. You've got to be move-in ready. And I think that those homes, well cared for, are doing very well. Townhouses, apartments are doing well. I think, in fact, the future looks bright for these guys, mostly because when a townhouse now costs $400,000, a one-bedroom, one plus den at $230 or $240 actually looks like a pretty good deal. And for some buyers, it's become their only option. So it's a price range thing, and you can see that almost everything that's come out has been selling. In fact, condo townhouses, if they're good, are even going for $280 or $290. So there you go. So the Milton market overall, 64% of the homes that were listed sold in the month of February. And you can see that that's obviously an improvement over January because the overall year total is just under 60%. Average days on the market is just under a month, and we're looking at about a 98% list to sale price. So overall, the numbers look good. I think we're headed for a good spring, mostly because the weather, once it gets better, I think there's a lot of pent-up listings that have just been waiting for the weather to get better. Now, if there's too many that come out at the same time, that can be a tough thing to actually sell against more competition. So it'll be very interesting how many buyers are going to come out, how many listings are going to come out. It'll be a very interesting spring. So the interest rates obviously are pretty much at historical lows, getting under 3% on a full true mortgage, not something that's really reduced in terms of the ability to port it. That stuff's all happening. So interest rates are fantastic right now. If you look at what else is selling, we've got a full list here of what's for sale. Asking price, again, has nothing to do with the actual sale price, but it is sometimes interesting to look and see what's going on in your building, in your neighborhood, on your street. Now, the last thing we'll point out is some things that you can do next. Okay, so you can actually find all the information for this report on the website, and then we've got 3 things that you can do next. Number 1, you can request a pinpoint price analysis, so something more specific than this report about your house. And what we do is we even guarantee to sell the home when listed at the pinpoint price in 60 days or less, because we want you to know that what we're saying is the truth and not just a number that just means nothing. Okay, so some skin in the game from our part is something that I think is very important. We also have a room-by-room review, which is where we can give you a guide and come over. It takes about an hour, and then we'll review the things to do that usually enhances the value of your house by an extra 1 or 2%. Low cost, high return. It doesn't make sense to spend $1 and get $1 back unless it's going to greatly increase the appeal and reduce the time on the market. And the last thing is our silent market. So we have a list of about 9,000 people that tune in every day to watch our Milton Daily Homes episodes over at miltondailyhomes.com. And then we also have a list of about 600 or 700 people that have requested this price report. And so a lot of times what we're doing is we're making matches. We've got past clients, we've got hundreds of them. And so it's one of those things where if we get the word out, we can oftentimes find a buyer without putting something on the market. And that's kind of exciting too. So if there's anything there that I mentioned that you're interested in, just send me an email, chuck@charltonadvantage.com or 905-693-9346, and just give us a call, and we'll really try and guide you in the best way we can. So have a great month, and we'll be back in March. Hold on a sec, it is March. We'll be back in April with another price report. Have a great month.